What happens when life starts lifing? What happens when God tells you to continue to show up on the job even though they overworking you, even though they talking about you, even though they cutting your hours, even though you feel like you don't have a space or a place in that environment? What happens when God tells you to stay connected to that relationship? Because after all, it was you who chose the marriage. It really wasn't the person that God had for you. But now that you've chosen that, you got to bear it. What happens when you feel like you're not going to make it? When you feel like you don't have enough to pay the bills? When you get sick and tired of the children acting out, acting up? What happens when you don't have nothing left, yet God is pulling on you, demanding you to give something that you don't have? Do you know every single time that you show up, you give God opportunity to show up for you? Every time you put aside what you got going on, every time you push, every time you show up, you give God an opportunity to show up for you. Whether you know it or not, you've been equipped for the assignment. You've been equipped for the family. You've been equipped for the job. You've been equipped for the relationship. So even though you feel like you in the pit, even though you feel like you have nothing left, even though you're ready to throw in the towel, God is right there. And every single time you feel like you're weak, every single time you want to give up, every single time you feel like you're not going to make it, some kind of way he pull you up out of that pit. You've been anointed for the assignment. You've been anointed for the position. You've been anointed to carry out the family. You've been anointed to do that. So when life starts lifing, when your body starts aching, when your mind starts wandering, when your heart is broken, when you feel like you don't have anybody to lean and depend on, that's when you press into God. That's when you begin to pray even more. That's when you begin to open your word. That's when you truly start trusting. What happens when life starts lifing? Do you give up? Do you throw in the towel? Do you say this is too hard? Do you backtrack? Do you go back to the things that once gave you satisfaction, a quick fix? Or do you trust God? Do you lean and depend on God? What happens when life starts lifing? What happens when life starts lifing? Do you know, as a chosen one, do you know, as a chosen one, as God's vessel, you are bound to go through some things. You are bound to have some heartaches. You are bound to be broken down, because guess what? He has to do that to build you back up. He has allowed that to build you back up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I'm talking to the person that feels like they're at the end of the road. I'm talking to the person that feels like they're never going to get out of that situation. I'm talking to the person that's tired of crying. I'm talking to the person that's tired of talking, tired of going back and forth, tired of showing up, tired of smiling, tired of turning the other cheek. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Life is going to life. Life is going to life. You cannot escape that. But how you show up is totally up to you. How you continue to push is totally up to you. Your faith is totally up to you. Don't you dare give up. Don't you dare give up. I love y'all so much. Until next time, y'all be easy. Peace.